I'm afraid the question is not pertinent at all because Ethiopia is not killing its people. As you know, there was arrests in some parts of the Oromia region that largely occurred due to a misunderstanding surrounding the integrated master plan for Addis Ababa and the surrounding towns in Oromia region.
And this master plan basically is the government plan to develop farmland outside Addis Ababa into a new business zone?
Absolutely no. There are a number of misunderstandings relating to this issue. First of all, the intention was never to expand the territory of Addis Ababa into Oromia region. Secondly, this master plan was only at the stage of being a draft, and it was nowhere near the stage of implementation.
But despite all the misunderstandings that there have been, the manifestation of it has been these protests, a result of which there has been a crackdown. Human Rights Watch says about 140 people were killed in the crackdown. How do you respond to these figures being put forward by the campaigners?
I never agree to figures released by Human Rights Watch because Human Rights Watch always releases figures based on accounts.
But the government has been investigating this. So what are your figures as a government?
Yes, that investigation is still taking place. As soon as the investigation is concluded, the government will release a report, and that report will tell us exactly what happened in the...
How long is that investigation going to take?
I can't give you a date, but it's going on and it will be finalized soon.
Do you accept that the government, your government, was rather or has been rather heavy-handed in the way it has handled the protests?
No. As a matter of fact, the government has been trying to avoid confrontation with the protesters. The problem was not the peaceful protest itself. Peaceful protests are guaranteed in the Ethiopian constitution. The problem was that this peaceful protest was hijacked by people whose intention it was to induce violent confrontation with security forces. And as a result, there was looting, there was snatching of arms from security forces and shooting. So the government could not allow the killing of innocent people and the wanton destruction of property to take place, because as a government, it has a duty and the responsibility to protect lives and property. And that's exactly what it did. But it was not heavy-handed, and I do not believe that 140 or 50 people died as a result of this protests.
Minister, how can you say it wasn't heavy-handed when, in fact, the suggestion has been that people died in the way the government responded to this protest?
People died from both sides. I think you have not heard about the killings of security personnel. I don't think you have heard about the killings of innocent people who were winners of awards for being model farmers in the region. Just because somebody protests, it doesn't mean that another person can hijack that protest and turn it into a violent confrontation. That was the problem here, not the protest itself. The protest can occur anytime because protests are allowed under the Ethiopian constitution. That's not the problem.
Now, you say that the what is called the master plan for Addis Ababa is good for development. There has clearly been a breakdown in trust in communication between the government and members of the Oromo community. How does the government intend to address this?
Thank you very much. That's a very good question. First of all, I wouldn't go as far as saying that there is a breakdown of trust, but there's a perception that, the people are no longer trusting the government. What is happening, though, is that people have raised legitimate issues of good governance.
How are you going to
be addressed? We are addressing it. We have begun doing investigations, and if we find that certain people have to be held responsible for bad governance, we'll hold them accountable in terms of the law and take action.